I'm getting started a few minutes later than I wanted to. Sorry if you were waiting on me, but I'm actually not going to get started immediately. I'm going to post a couple updates to social media. Uh, one moment, please. And then once I've done that, I will get started on the project that I've been working on this week, which is it's a small project. I'm actually not going to get started immediately. Oh no, noise in the background. Let's get rid of that. Okay, sorry. Um, uh, right. So the project that I'm working on this week, that I have been working on this week, and will be finishing today, uh, is for a jam that ends today, Rune Jam 2014. So much noise in the background. Sorry, I got off to kind of a late start, and kind of a hurried start, but right. So, I also didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked, which is why I have this energy drink that will be uh, helping me out. Um, right. Post. That probably worked, or is working. And then post. Uh, let's hope that also works. Yeah, what we see over here on the screen is is the camera situated? Okay, okay. Pardon. What we see on the other side, what we see on one half of the screen is my face, and then what we see on the other side of the screen is the editor and monodevelop, the Unity editor and monodevelop with the project that they have. I'm just gonna run the project just to just to see how it is, remind myself where we left off, I guess. And so we have this project that once it runs, will populate the island with some number of inhabitants who are really productive for some reason. Look at all these games they're making. Uh, this oh, I dialed that value up. Uh, I think because the last thing I'd been working on was the animation of those resources as they pop out of the populace. All right, so now here we have our other scene wherein we have a choice to make, a critical, crucial choice, pivotal, life changing decision. um, uh, and pardon me while I get distracted by social media for just one more moment. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I'll sort that out later. Um, okay, so. Uh, Pardon. So yeah, okay. So let's just try each of our options. So the volcano demands tribute. What will you sacrifice? We have a lot of these games now because they're spawning at an elevated rate, faster than we'll want it for the final product. But let's sacrifice some of those. Oh look, they went away. And we had temporarily appeased the volcano, but here we are again. Volcano demands more sacrifice. What will we sacrifice? Again, we have plenty of games, or we have plenty of this resource, so might as well sacrifice those for now. But actually, just to check that, we left both of these options in a functional state. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what'd we do? I think we crashed it, which is cool to know about up front. Oh, we were trying to access a destroyed game object. So hold on, let's pause our simulation. Yeah, so when we chose to sacrifice that object, we would have in fact destroyed it, and apparently I did not clean up after myself, not sufficiently. Wait, what? Did we destroy the? Wait. why on earth would we have destroyed currency? Currency destroys itself, but oh, mob. Okay, right. Right. Okay. So yeah. Right. The currency is it pops out of random mobs. To indicate like this is the mob that produced this currency. I'm just gonna call them games because in this project that might be confusing. Um, uh, Whatever, I'm gonna do it anyways. I apologize for subsequent confusion. We're talking about like games within a game, and this game is a comment on the game industry. So, um, no, I'll just call it currency. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, the uh, no, there's got to be a better term because like fabricating currency sounds weird. Sounds like counterfeit, but uh, product maybe. I don't know. So yeah, so like within this game, it's like hypothetically like a mob is producing this product, and so currently it's just picking a random mob, other than the mob which might be currently chosen for tribute, but we're not filtering out mobs that have been destroyed. So okay, so let's say instead of if idx equals tribute underscore idx, let's say uh, let's say what? I think hypothetically we can destroy literally all of our mobs. Oh, so yeah. I mean, I guess in that case, like if we literally destroyed all our mobs, then we wouldn't be producing currency at all. So, oh, yeah. I'm also going to scale productivity. Am I already scaling productivity on mob count? Oh, right. I'm using mob count, which is not quite the actually the number that we want to use there. So yeah, for one thing, we'll want to adjust that because we also need a separate count for what is like current population. Um, so yeah, okay. I'm just gonna pop that in real quick. So I'll put it near mob count, I guess, because they're related. Mob count is how many mobs have ever existed, and population is how many mobs currently exist. So int pop. Yeah, pop's fine. Uh, uh, int pop equals 0. So whenever we spawn a mob, which happens here. Nope, not here. Where? Where does this happen? Spawn. Yeah, spawn. Okay. So mob count increases and pop increases once we've spawned a mob. And then when does it decrease? It decreases if and when we choose to sacrifice a mob. So when we choose to sacrifice a mob, we will decrement. I don't know if that's a word. Whatever we will do the opposite of increment. So minus minus pop. Save that. So right. So our productivity, our score gain, is not in fact scaling by mob count. It's scaling by pop, because workers are less productive once they've been sacrificed to a volcano. It's one of those tough truths of the business world. Alright, I know it's a terrible habit, but I'm going to check social media one more time. I'm addicted. Just to make sure that stuff is posting correctly. Oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah. Super. Thank you, Inarashi, for retweeting. Thank you. Gamer Scout for the favorite. Okay, yay. Okay, and then that's enough of that, because much more important things, much more pressing matters to attend to. So this is correct. So we're still using mob count here because this is the part where we decide which mob the product pops out of, and it could happen from any mob in the entire range of any mob that ever existed. However, what we have to do is to so currently we're just checking, like, if we accidentally randomly pick the tribute index, the index of the mob currently on the edge of the volcano, selected for possible sacrifice, we increment away from that, but we'll actually want to while the index equals tribute IDX, or IDX or mobs IDX equals null. So basically, if we accidentally pulled the tribute index, or if we accidentally pulled the index of a null mob, just jump to the next one. So hypothetically, like there could be several of these in a row. So we're saying basically until we get to like a living mob not up for tribute, then keep going, keep flipping through indexes. So hopefully that will work. And so I think we're also covered for the case wherein literally zero mobs exist, because if zero mobs exist, then this is going to be a zero value, which multiplied in score modulo 1 plus flow pop. Yeah, it's multiplied in. Right, so yeah, it's multiplied into what would be the potential gains, and so if like this first part that isn't getting multiplied, the score modulo 1, is just to include the like remainder, like the fractional value of whatever productivity had existed from the previous frame. So when population 0, this will all get multiplied to 0, and then this will remain a fractional, like a value less than 1. And so because we're rounding down, this cannot exceed 0. Yep. Let's let's see if that's a true thing that I just said. Let's see if my story checks out. So for one thing, we should be able to destroy. So how come productivity isn't what it used to be? Oh. What? Oh, well, yeah, for one thing, I'm a silly person. Uh, because you can't just flip up. You have to consider the possibility of wrapping around too. Because if you pull like the absolute highest number and then wait, well, I don't know if that's necessarily what we were seeing, but I think what I'm saying is also a true statement. Because if huh, yeah, no, I should never have just had an increment. It should have been IDX. It should have incremented and then also VX equals. Can you do modulo equals? Modulo equals mob count. Is that? Whoa, cool. Okay. I wonder if that'll work. Actually, I'm just gonna double check. If I'm not 100% about stuff, I'll print it. I'll print the results at start just to check. So like print or no. Okay, so int print equals or modulo equals. Can you? Oh no, it needs a value before I do that. Okay, so it equals 5, and then print modulo equals 4. So hypothetically, it should now equal 1 because 5 modulo 4 is 1. So then, if we print then at the start we should see 1, maybe. So 1. Look at that. All right. So cool. Modulo equals. Yeah. Why not? We can get rid of that stuff. So now we should wrap around. I don't know if that's necessarily going to fix what we were seeing because I don't have a great explanation for what we were seeing, but it'd be nice if it fixed it. Of course it wouldn't fix it. Why would it fix it? That would have been way too convenient if it fixed it. Huh. Alrighty, well apparently we're working on that for the near future. Actually, yeah, I would have strongly preferred that to just have magically worked, but apparently that was not in the cards. So what did I do? That was so ruinous. Oh, I know what I did! I totally know what I did. Do I? No, I don't think that would explain it. But I do know one thing that I did, that I overlooked, that I did not correctly. Oh, no, I know 2 things that I did not correctly, and it probably explains what we were seeing. Probably. Maybe. I hope. Okay, so for one thing, this is not the only time where we're calculating this, because this is not actually what adjusts the score. This is gain only calculate. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so yeah, gain only calculates how many of those like little products to pop up. Yeah. Okay, so this is the other place that I forgot to change mob count to pop. I got distracted by not having to change mob count to pop and forgot to follow through on that. And then the other thing we overlooked is that we have a bunch of mobs on startup, so this is the other time that we increment mob count. We see we're incrementing it here as part of this for loop, and so also as part of this for loop, let us increment pop. Yay! And then all is right in the world. Fingers crossed. So look at that. Look at all that productivity. All that productivity represented in the game world as these little whatevers popping out of the crowd. So 15 seconds in is when the volcano demands the first sacrifice. And Right, to check that we did in fact fix that error correctly, let's choose to sacrifice mobs just to increase the likelihood of accidentally hitting a destroyed mob. Seems okay so far, and let's just for I'm just gonna, oh, I don't know why I'm rearranging it now. It's not gonna save because we're in play mode, but I'm just gonna crank down the tribute period so that way we can destroy more mobs faster, and therefore increase the probability that that error would have occurred, and therefore increase our confidence that we have successfully resolved it, which seems to be the case. So far, so good. Alright, so yeah, a little debugging to start the day. So what we have here is like essentially like a rapidly accelerated version of the game experience. There are a few things that, well, so after my stream on Friday, and then again late last night, and then a little bit early this morning, I was watching back some of the Friday stream just to I don't know, just to see what I did and try and get better at streaming. But so while I was doing that, I was like just thinking about I only got like a few hours in, but I was watching like some of the stuff get implemented in the first place, and I just had a few thoughts at the time about how to balance some of these things, how to retune some of what we've implemented, how to add a little bit more intrigue into the mechanics, and ultimately make this decision on the mountain, on the edge of the volcano, more and more critical, really, because this is essentially, and for the shipping version, entirely likely will be the only point of interaction for the player. So it really needs to mean as much as possible in order for the game to feel as if the player has agency. So okay, yeah, no, I'm just doing this out of out of muscle memory. I'm not actually like I don't have a specific reason to continue running the simulation. So yeah, let's start plugging in some of those things that I'd been thinking about. The first of which, I guess just because I was on the mountain making that choice over and over, I think the one that stands out the most to me is that I want to change the frequency of the I want to change a few frequencies. Specifically, I want to scale the the same way that the rate of productivity scales with the population. I want population growth to scale with the current population. So population begets population, I guess. That you know. So then, as a consequence of what players choose on the island, they are literally affecting population growth, because the more times they choose to sacrifice population, they're kind of digging themselves into a hole a little bit, which is in fact a desired end result. I had a viewer for a moment, and then the viewer count dropped back down to 1. Although that viewer count is highly inaccurate, so for all I know, I do have viewers. In which case, hi, how's it going? Feel free to comment and question in chat. But if you're watching this pre-recorded, then send me a message instead. Okay. So scaling population growth based on current population is one of the things that I mentioned, and one of the other ones is scaling the frequency. Oh, for one thing, scaling down the frequency of the tribute periods. Scaling the first time it takes about 15 seconds. It takes literally 15 seconds, and then there's some variability in the tribute period. So like, the tribute period is currently set to 5, which means it can take, I think, anywhere from like 4.2 to like 5.8 seconds or something like that. Anywhere in that range. But I actually want that range to start out higher, and so like 10 maybe instead, like twice as long. So that way it doesn't. Well, like going from 15 seconds to 5 seconds is kind of a sudden drop. I do want the game to give you a little extra time before the first one, so that you can kind of get a sense of like anything that's happening here. Like I want at least some amount of productivity, so you can kind of make the connection of like how you might be getting this resource, so that before you have to decide whether to spend the resource, you kind of at least have a sense of what you're spending. Which is actually, I'll get to this later, but another thing I want to change is the resource economy. I want productivity to start a lot lower, and I want costs to start a lot lower, and I want you to start with less of this product. So instead of starting with 100, I think you'll probably start with 10. Which is interesting because I'm currently scaling costs up by 10. So maybe I can just not. Maybe I can just leave costs what they are. And so yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Kind of. I might as well just like throw out a jumble of like all the things that I want to change, and I will be only changing them one at a time. But then like the other thing is that I want when you choose to pay the cost. When you're at the volcano and you choose to pay the cost, every time you pay the cost, that ratio, like the cost of sacrifice will increase each time you pay it. So like essentially like the volcano gets greedier, and relatedly, every time you choose to I forget if I said this one already, but every time you choose, I think I must have said it already. Every time you choose to sacrifice a mob, the tribute period decreases. So it in the same way, like it gets more greedy. Like the more dudes you throw in, the more and more dudes the volcano demands. The volcano, air quotes. So I forget which one I said I was going to start with. Probably the I don't know. I guess I can do any of them. But I was already tuning the tribute period, so I guess I'll just keep up with that. So tribute period is now in the range of 10 seconds. A range centered around 10 seconds. So let's say, so on GUI is when the player makes decisions, or how the title processes the decision makes, how the title processes the decisions the player makes. And so case 3 is the case in which the player chooses to sacrifice a mob. That's why we put our -- pop here. And so we said that this is when the mountain, or the volcano air quotes, the quote unquote volcano will become greedier. So let's at this juncture tribute period times equals, let's do like 0.9 for now. We might want to, actually no, let's make that tunable instead. So tribute period times equals tribute tribute period scale times equals tribute, what is this? This is volcanic greed that we are representing here. So tribute period scale. I don't think we're gonna have other scalars for tribute period, so whatever. So tribute public float tribute period and public float tribute period scale equals 0.9f. The scale float, the scale will have an impact on how long it takes to play the game, or how long you can play the game, or like kind of like the pacing of the game, depending on if you make this decision. So if you make the decision to sacrifice this, this will have an impact on the pacing of the game, and that's why we want to tune it to make it pace appropriately. So then, yeah, I think that's most of the setup for the one thing that I said. The other thing that I said, right? So the scale of the costs. Do I already have? I think I already have a value for cost scale. Yeah, I do have a value for cost scale. So. So right, actually, I'm going to do scale D for these values, just to make it clear that this is not just the persistent scale. This is like the rate at which the scale changes, actually. So like D for delta, I guess. I don't know. D for differentiation. Not literally, but okay. Tribute period scale D, and then right, so yeah, I already had a cost scale, which I might even be getting rid of. And by getting rid of, I think I don't literally mean getting rid of, I think I mean setting to 1, like to make it effectively meaningless. But you know, it served its purpose in getting us to that point. So public float mob cost scale D equals, oh yeah, again getting ahead of myself, but another thing I want to add in at some point is we'll put this at 0.9 for starters also. Oh no, excuse me, 1.2, because we want this to have we want this to increase the cost, not decrease. 1.2f. Another thing I want to do is make it so that you can't spend product that you don't have, because if you can spend product that you don't have, it makes product a bit inconsequential. But that'll take a little more work, and we can do that probably next, or at some point. So now if the cost that scales, when you make case 2 decision, case 2 is your choice to spend. So we deduct the mob cost, we update the score for the deducted cost, for the amount post deduction, and then we will score mob cost scale, cost scale times equals mob cost scale D. So now it will increase. Also, something that we'll have to tune, because that will affect the pace of the game when this decision is made. And speaking of tuning, before I forget, I'm going to change the mob cost scale down to 1, and I'm going to I should really rename these just to be consistent. In fact, I'm going to do that now, because consistency is good, and naming conventions are cool, and yes. So what was previously called score would be more within conventions, to be called score text, because the game object displaying the text score, and then what was previously just SCR is now score, because that is how I've named the other things. So because I changed the name of the public game object, it is no longer set, and I need to set it once more to be this. Whoops, to be this. And then, oh right, and then, so then it, because I changed it, it also made score 0 again, but what I actually want it to be is 10. So let's save that as well. So now the entire scale of the game should be less. We start with less. We still gain at the same rate, so I'll probably want to change that. I mean, I did say I wanted to change that anyways, because we have productivity at 0.1, which I think is actually closer to like 0.01. And yeah, now the cost of the... all right, let's see. Yeah, let's even see what productivity looks like at 0.01. Realism. So first you have dudes hopping around, and like, yeah, I might want to change the spawn rate. I do want to change the spawn rate. That's another thing I want to change. Yeah, and look, you got a thing. And another thing. So as it is presently, you get 2. Oh, as it is presently, you do your population produces 2 of these products before the first choice point, but the population is growing faster than I would have intended it to grow. So let's try and put the population growth rate. How do I control that? Spawn period. To something more realistic. I think it'd actually start closer to like 5. But in order to still have... I want more than one thing to be produced. I'd want I think 3 or 4 to be produced before you actually make it to the volcano, so that the player has a few options to notice it. I mean, I guess instead of just having the games pop out of the pop out and then disappear, I could actually have the products fly up to the top corner of the screen. That might really drive home the correlation between the products popping out of your duders and the number at the top of the screen increasing. Although, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad idea. I'm not going to do it right now because it takes a lot. So productivity 0.3, 0.03. Actually, I'm going to go to 0.05 for starters because because we dialed down the spawn rate. Wow, that guy, he's pulling his weight. That dude. So we have at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that could even be good. So then you pay the cost in coinage, in product, and then it's roughly 10 seconds until the next one. All right, yeah, I need to keep tuning these values because I think we're too productive. We're slightly too productive. Maybe productivity should be like 0.0. I don't know what. Oh, and then then there's this other thing. Oh, look, that one was slightly more expensive. Maybe just coincidentally. Some are more expensive, more or less expensive than others. It would take a little while for the correlation between choosing that price and realizing the increase in price to really hit home. I'm not going to spend super much time balancing because I'm still implementing stuff. I might accidentally pull the rug out from under whatever I might do now. So let's make the other choice because the other choice makes the choice come up more often. I think it looked like the price, because I think the maximum value had previously been 4, so the fact that we're getting 5s I'm pretty sure is indicative of that other system working. I can make some of those values make more values public so that we can actually watch the value change. Actually, can we watch the value change? Oh yeah, look, mob cost scale is all the way up to 3.5. So that's probably good. And then tribute period is down to 7.3-ish. So the volcano is getting much greedier. It's not like urgent, but one thing I mentioned a while back that I still kind of want to revisit at some point is the randomness in the population. Sometimes it just gives like such statistically improbable results that it like substantially changes the experience. Although I guess maybe that might not necessarily have been the case this time, because we paid a lot of money at the start of the game, and paying dollars products. I'm going to use a lot of synonyms for this thing that represents a fairly broad concept, so oh yeah, look how frequently this decision is coming up. Oh my gosh, just constant decision making. It's been so much sacrifice. It's been so much sacrifice. I'm gonna get the population down to 0. Oh, of course that's an error, because it's going to demand sacrifice of a population with nothing to sacrifice. Oh, so I guess that might be a case where we'll want to use the single button, I guess, or like, well, I guess we can however we indicate that the price is unpayable, the product cost is unpayable when you don't have enough product to cover the cost. We might be able to use like similar symbolism to indicate that the mob cost is unpayable when you don't actually have mobs. Actually, no, maybe that's just game over. If you have 0 mobs, that's because if you have 0 mobs, you can't get more mobs. So either that's game over, or we can like cheat in a little bit of like population growth when you have 0 mobs. I don't know. I mean, you never technically have 0 mobs because you because there's always the elder. Well, yeah, we should do something for starters. And I guess what? Yeah, I guess we'll just not try and offer up a mob if there is no mob to offer up. Yeah, and I guess it doesn't have to be like I guess it'll just be an empty box, and one that probably has no effect. So let's shift focus to that for a moment. So the part, yeah, tribute selection. Tribute selection. Oh, did we change tribute selection so that it can't choose a destroyed mob, I hope? Yeah, and mob's not equal, no. Alright, so we remembered it in that case. Okay. Wait, no. Is this the... No, wait, no. No, that's... I'm just, like, looking at random things. Where's tribute selection? It's higher up. Tribute time, yeah. Tribute index. Oh, yeah. Okay, while mob underscore cost tribute index is less than cost threshold. Oh, right. Destroyed mobs aren't selected for tribute because their costs are 0. Although I guess they could still get selected if the entire population had a cost of 0. So it's not a super likely case, but it is one that we should account for. So while mobs cost tribute IDX is less than cost threshold, or mobs tribute IDX equals null, then this is this is another way to type the same thing that I typed before. It increments and then does modulo by mob count, to kind of like with like the mob productivity selection. It just flips through it picks a random value and then flips through the list until it gets to a suitable number. So right, okay, so I guess we can just say a tribute time is less than time fixed time. So if pop equals 0, then we're doing something different. And this is all the else case, because this is the case we're in. We have a tribute to select. And so what is the 0 population equals 0 case? The population equals 0 case, tribute IDX is like, I don't know, but yeah, some of these things that I just put in the else case, we want to do either way. We want to, regardless of whether we have a mob to offer as tribute, we'll want to change scenes. And that's a lot of this stuff. Oh, right, yeah, how do we choose? Well, so, yeah, there'll be a okay. So this stuff is all about changing scenes. So we do that regardless. However, yeah, I mean, like, so if we don't have a mob, like, how do we choose the cost? I guess I kind of want, oh cool, my computer is doing weird battery stuff, as it tends to do. Pardon. Hopefully that's better. I apologize if there's a dip in... Is there still a dip in the stream performance coming back? Technical difficulties. I apologize. Yeah, I guess. So in the case that a mob exists for possible tribute, I'm just trying to think of like what it means in the context of the game. To have a population of 0. Yeah. it doesn't really mean the same thing. It doesn't necessarily, like, offering up products in that case doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, but it's like kind of the only thing that you can do. So, whereas like previously it's kind of an analogy for fear. In this case, I think it's just like an analogy for like self-destruction induced by like sort of a mania, I guess. Because like you only get to this place if you've indulged the whims of a lunatic for too long, for far too long. So at this point, the lunatic, sorry, I hope that, so like this madman, I guess, this dictator, this criminally insane dictator. So yeah, at this point, he's been appeased to the kind of like the like collapse of the entire island nation, really. So yeah, he might as well just like have his entire kingdom come crashing down around him until literally nothing exists, which I guess will also present like a game over opportunity. So I'm by not implementing like a game over, I'm really just kicking the can down the road because you really can game over. All I'm letting you do is before hitting game over, you you get to really watch the rest of the kingdom come crashing down, which I guess is fun in a way. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So right, since the product costs are typically based on the mob chosen for tribute, without a mob, we'll just say so. Oh, all right. Well, we'll have to say tribute IDX equals -1, I guess. Is that what tribute index usually equals when nothing exists? Yeah. And is that what it gets reset to? Or no? Oh yeah, it does get reset to that. So I guess I don't even have to really set it to that. What do I do instead? Do I have to even do anything here, maybe? Maybe I don't. Maybe I can just skip this process and jump right to on GUI. No, I do have to do something. I do have to do something about the cost here. The part where mob cost text equals, yeah. So I have to do something similar. I have to do something. So mob cost text.gui text will instead equal math round to int. Let's say if you can't offer tribute of a mob, then the volcano gets even greedier. So not only will it be the maximum current cost, it'll be like twice that. No, it'll be the minimum of either twice the maximum. It'll be either twice the maximum cost of a mob, of like the most expensive mob, or it'll be everything you have left, and that will allow you to literally bankrupt yourself. Yay! Hold on, wait. So I'll just punch in the first one first. So I actually don't know what the maximum cost is. So yeah, I'll just make it arbitrarily high. I'm pretty sure 4 is arbitrarily high. So 4 times scale, mob cost scale, times 2. Oh, well, so, okay, so then 8 times mob cost scale. Uh, it'll be, oh, wait, no, it'll be, okay, so, it's not going to be the minimum between the two. Yeah, no, it's going to be the minimum between the two. So math f dot min of either score, which I changed the name of to be score, or math ff round to, oh, I need to close my parentheses. So, yeah. Yeah. Save that. But okay, so that's only part of the story because we both say no, yeah, we updated the text, and oh, you know what? Let's yeah, let's previously we weren't keeping track of what is the tribute cost at any given time because we could always check the tribute cost by knowing what the tribute index was, but let's actually keep track of the tribute cost now instead. So with the tribute index, tribute position, and let's also have the no, not in float. Tribute cost equals, I guess it doesn't have to actually equal anything to start with, but then when we're doing all this stuff, we can say tribute cost equals the minimum between score. Oh, actually, yeah, I set that up slightly incorrectly because it will actually, we don't need the math f round to int here. We need it somewhere else instead. So that will be as such. It'll take the minimum between the two, and then here we do math f round to int tribute cost. Actually, the cost should probably be integers because that's what the user sees. So, yeah, it's weird to work with like floats. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so yeah, so by keeping track of the tribute cost instead of just looking up the cost from the index, we can keep the mob costs as they were, and then the tribute cost we can say is an integer, and then players, like the number should always change to the player's expectation. It should never like round to like in an unexpected way, which it could have done if it had been a float. So yeah, now we have to change that again. We have to change the round to int. We have to move it back here. Score round to int? No, it has to no. Oh no, it has to be floor. Floor to int. And then we need to close more parentheses or fewer parentheses. Close fewer parentheses. Yeah. Or both. No. Is that actually correct? Yeah. Okay. Good. Save that. And then also, yeah. So now we also have to calculate the tribute cost down here as well. So tribute cost down here will be this. Oh, to string. I forgot to do to string up here. Will be this. Oh, and then, I mean, actually, we have to update the cost regardless, so we don't have to do it there. We can do it down here because we're doing it in both cases. So, what else do we need to do in this case? Anything? I guess this print is cool enough, except that, oh, why are you not enthusiastic about cost threshold? Oh, because we're only calculating it in that one case. Alright, whatever. I'll leave it where it was. Yeah, maybe that's okay for this section, and then now we have to change the onGUI section to not freak out when tribute index is -1. Because that's what will happen when there's no population. So, huh. So it's case 3 that means something different when tribute index is -1, because we can't do any of this stuff. So previously we'd use a switch, but we might just want to make this if no, maybe I'll just yeah, I'll just put this stuff in ifs. If tribute oh, whoops. Okay, so for one thing, score is in all cases score is getting changed by tribute costs, not by that other thing. But then, yeah, so then if tribute IDX is greater than or equal to 0, then we do all these things. Otherwise, we do nothing, because that's not a valid sacrifice. If there's no tribute, and I mean that kind of hits on our the case where you choose neither of the two obvious options, but we only really got to this place if the we only really got to this place if the player, really burned this place to the ground. So we might as well continue with that fiction. So if attribute idx is greater or equal to 0, wait a second. Yeah, that's fine. No, wait, no, it's not. It's not 100% fine. If, whatever. This is kind of like, I don't think there's like, at least, it's not super obvious to me what's the, what would be like the super best way to arrange this section, because it's like an interesting logic tree. So I'm just gonna say if button pressed. I know we just had a switch for like basically this exact same thing, but whatever. So if button pressed not equals 3. If button pressed not equals 3 and attribute index is greater than or equal to 0, do all this stuff. All this stuff. What? Oh, did I already? Okay, I guess I already did that. Right, sorry, no. Yeah, so button pressed is 3 and tribute. Yeah, because if button press is 3 and the tribute is -1, then we don't want this stuff to happen. So, good. So now let's murder our population and see how that goes. See how stuff works out for us. We can still spend money that we don't have, so let's crank down the tribute period also, so that it's easier to reach the end. So yeah, the first one's 15 seconds in, but then after the first one, it'll happen fairly frequently. What? Oh, no, yeah, that doesn't work because I've already reset the tribute index for that time, so choosing that option always values the true. Yeah, I've already. Wait, what? No, I haven't reset the tribute index yet. So it did not evaluate this. I pressed button 3. Oh, because I pressed button 3. Wait. Alright, so sorry, this logic is clearly not as clear in my head as it needs to be. Oh, right, yeah, so no, okay. We need to negate an and. Specifically, button press equals 3, and tribute index equals -1. Because it's that very specific case that we want to ward against. So, yeah, the only time we won't evaluate this is if it is button press 3 and tribute index equals -1. Right. Right-o. So, tribute period, let's crank that down. Actually, I guess I can crank it down even further. It's going to shrink as we sacrifice, anyways. Yay! I guess I could have halted population growth as well, but this should happen fairly quickly either way. So now we no longer, there's nothing, there's no, there's nothing to sacrifice here, so we can only sacrifice money, but apparently we did not fully accommodate that situation either. So yeah, something is awry in case 2. Really? Oh, mob tribute index. We can't look at. Okay, so actually so this case also changes slightly. So again, there might be a cleaner logic tree, but I don't think this logic is even finished yet. So in order to construct that super clean logic tree, I don't think we have like the full picture yet. Anyway, so I have tribute IDX is greater than or equal to 0 and mob tribute index 9%. Because in that case we were trying to, in the case that we pay the product cost, or we pay the cost in product, in the case that we choose to sacrifice product, the mob would have been returned to its starting position, but when there is no mob, that is no longer relevant. So, alright, how about now? How we doing this time? Let's, oh, I don't really, no, what is it, spawn, well, okay, tribute period down to, like, 1, and then spawn period, yeah, whatever. Gone, population gone. Sorry, bros. You gone. Now, okay, and now we've reached the state where we can no longer sacrifice mobs. There are no mobs left to sacrifice, so can we sacrifice money? Yeah, we can. Look at that, we've sacrificed all of our money. Oh, yeah, okay, so this is kind of the same situation as, or this is similar to the situation. What? Oh, wait. Oh, there is still a spawn period even when there is no population. Because we haven't changed that yet? Yeah, I want spawn period to correlate to population. But I guess I just haven't put that in yet. Alright, whatever. Yeah, so I also want to handle the case wherein there is 0 money and 0. I guess actually I would kind of enjoy it if whoa, that is some expensive mob. Boom. I mean, I guess I have me clicking this button a lot. Wait, how come this isn't increasing? I'm paying this cost, but it keeps coming up as the same cost each time. The same tribute cost. It keeps coming up as the same tribute cost. So even though the cost scale is increasing, it comes up as the same tribute cost until there's a new mob. Because that scale is getting affected. Yeah, I think that scale is applying to the cost of the mob, which is calculated when the mob is generated. Whereas now we want that calculated at the time we calculate tribute cost. So, is it getting applied both times? Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would be hard to tell because it starts out as 1. Right. So where are we spawning? We're spawning them here. Mob costs. Cost calculation, right? Okay. Yeah, we have a separate thing for that, which is here. So, right, we no longer want it to include mob cost scale. We just want raw mob cost. But we do want tribute cost now to account for mob cost scale. So in the place that we're calculating tribute cost, because it does account for it here, it just doesn't account for it here because it wouldn't have accounted for it here because it had already been previously accounted for. Okay, so mob cost scale. Alright, so yeah, it's not that it's not that mobs spawned later get more expensive, it's that the price to be paid for any mob just steadily increases over time. So even if the same mob comes up, if the same mob comes up later, it will be more expensive later. So yeah, now let's also change mob spawning to halt with 0 population. So where's the spawn period? Spawn. So spawn progress. So yeah, it just flatly occurs when spawn progress is less than spawn period. So what is the clean way to change that to account for I mean, essentially it goes to infinity when there's a 0 population. So I guess spawn progress only happens. Like, we only progress the spawn when mobs exist, and the extent to which we progress it. The extent to which we progress spawn correlates to the current population. So spawn progress plus equals time dot fixed delta time times population times 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 spawn period scale. I guess it's not quite the same thing. I guess I could call it reproductivity. And why not? So I'll make that a public variable near productivity. public float reproductivity equals, and so, alright, so for it to have stayed the same with a population of 10, we're now multiplying by product, we're multiplying by population and by reproductivity. So for a population of 10, for it to stay the same, it'd be 0.1, for example. F, all the F. So now spawn period's still the same, but we have reproductivity as well. Actually, I'm gonna put those next to each other, I guess, just so that because they're very related. So as I tune one, I'll be tuning the other. Alright. Also, I never remember where to look for spawn period because my tunable values tend to be in this area. Okay, so yeah, once again, tribute period, super low. Spawn period, we can leave that as it is. After this, we can jack the tribute period super high and see if the spawn rate increases rapidly. Oh no, we're all gone of peoples. Yeah, let's put the tribute period back up to, like, I don't know, 5. And is spawn progress? No, spawn progress is let's put the tribute period up to like 500, and so the spawn period is 5 right now. So I mean, I guess hypothetically with like only one mob, since we're multiplying by 0.01, then it would take what, like 50 seconds, I guess, to get some new mob spawn. But I mean, the fact that it appears to be taking literally forever could be a good thing. And then I guess a better test would have just been to expose spawn period progress, or spawn progress, or whatever that's called, as a public thing, so that because presumably it's just not changing right now, and that'd be the desired outcome. So was that an aside? No, I guess that was kind of like cleanup for what we had implemented with removing the option to sacrifice a mob. The one thing that we have now, though, that is kind of funny is the option to pay 0 product, and just repeatedly pay 0 product. I'm thinking we want to add in one more case for when there are 0 mobs and 0 products, because that is a terminal case, and I guess at that point I kind of want our game over screen to be reached, I guess. Oh wait, no, I know what to do. Yeah, so we're gonna have the buttons become unresponsive. We're gonna have both buttons become unresponsive. They'll both be blank. They'll both be unresponsive. and at that point you really have no option but to click other places. So if the if the player had not by that time realized their alternatives, that would I think that hopefully that would drive it home fairly well. Or else they would just rage quit, or just regular quit, sad quit maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. um, so now we can't just check for the case that the tribute cost is 0, because if the hypothetical... Oh. Yeah, there are mobs now with 0 cost. But maybe I should make that not necessarily the case. And then I can just use mob cost equals 0. Right, so what? So what? Yeah. Mob cost calculation. There's a thing for that. So RT equals right, this is how we're calculating mob cost. So let's say return RT plus 0.1 F. So now even the cheapest mob will still cost 0.1 F. Yeah, because those mobs can still come up for, like, when those are the only mobs left, those mobs can still come up for. But actually, maybe that's not the way I want to... No, that's not the way I want it calculated, necessarily. Is it? I don't know. It means slightly different things to calculate it here versus at calculate. So yeah, it means slightly different things to change the mob raw cost versus the tribute cost calculation. And I'm trying to think of which one I like more for this. Like, I think one is slightly more realistic, whereas the other is slightly more simplistic, and I don't know. Simplicity is not... simplicity forsaking realism is not necessarily bad if it if it's like ancillary and helps keep the main point clear. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the main point clear for now, and then I can always change that later. So instead of here, tribute cost calculation. No, not here. Tribute. So yeah, tribute index equals etc. etc. Tribute cost equals math f dot round to int mobs cost tribute. So I can just say it costs at least 1, maybe. So I could just say min math f dot min of 0.1 f or the cost. So the mobs with like quote unquote zero, the mobs with zero raw cost won't necessarily get picked more frequently, but when they are picked, they will still cost at least a little bit. No freebies. And I guess depending on the mob cost scale, that could still turn out to 0. So should probably do the minimum of mathf dot min 1, and then the rest of this. So yeah. So if the raw value is 0, it's calculated as if it was 0.1 for tribute cost, and then if that still turns out to be less than like 0.5, like if it would round down to 0, then it comes out as 1 anyways. Which might cover, and this might even cover other cases where a player got like a statistically unlikely starting setup, and they got like weird values to start with. Which I mean, I guess that case would have solved itself anyways, but now it is solved even faster for that weird case. But so I came here actually to handle right 0 Zaru tribute cost, which now only occurs when there is literally 0 monies left. Because if the population is non-zero, then I guess when the population's 1, that kind of means that like your potential for productivity is this mob that you might silence. So this mob is so dedicated to its work that it toils away until the very last moment before it is thrown into the volcano. Which, oh no, that's awful, because it's like sitting there, it's like trying to churn out these products so that you can throw the products in instead of the mob itself. Which I'm sure no one will notice because this is a silly little game that takes moments to play, and does not necessarily require great philosophical consideration from its user. But okay, so do we need to do anything in advance? I mean, I guess this is where we're setting the mob cost text to whatevs, so we might as well say if tribute cost is less than, or if tribute cost equals 0, actually that's weird to me. I'd rather just say if tribute index equals -1, because that's really the case that we're covering here. Tribute cost being 0 is like a side effect of that case. Oh no, I lied out of my face. Lies everywhere. Because yeah, no. Well, okay, yeah, no. You know what I want to do is I want a slight buffer against accidentally incurring the 0 cost case. So if tribute index equals -1 and tribute cost uh, equals 0. And I'll put that in the reverse order, just for kicks. So if too much. So if that is all happening in real life, then something will be the case. Otherwise, this will be the case. So maybe I should do that the other way around. Wait. Because this is actually much more likely case. And so then what will happen here is that we'll want to hide the cost text and icon, and then once we get into the GUI, we'll have to go to the GUI section and make it so that the that button becomes non-interactive, like we made the other button non-interactive. However, I am going to take a super quick break to refill my water bottle. I will be right back. back. Hey. Sorry for the brief delay. So, yeah, where were we? Um, uh, right, so, yeah, if we hit the case where we have no tribute, and we have already spent all of our dollars, then we want the volcano scene. Oh yeah, morale. I remember morale. That was another thing that I wanted to. Oh, yeah, morale was like a related sort of. Morale was also going to be related to scaling like productivity and reproductivity by the decisions you make. Specifically, morale was going to decrease whenever you sacrificed a dude. So you'd have decreased productivity for committing heinous acts. I don't know if we necessarily need that. We might. I might put that in anyways. But I don't think we need it at this point. So for the buttons, specifically the left button, which has currency and currency cost, which I'm going to call currency icon and currency cost. Yeah, this is what. Alright, so yeah, let's look at what we were looking at. Currency and currency cost. We'll want these to disappear, to be not the visible things when we reach that case that we were just looking at. So let's put a empty hierarchical game object on the left button. Let's zero it out. Oh, yeah, we can, what, reset. Yeah, look at that, boom. Thanks, Ames X David, or David X Ames, I forget which direction it goes in. JK. I mean, okay, so, right, and then, oh yeah, our hierarchical game object, currency display, I guess, can contain our currency icon and our currency cost, and we can save it as such, and we can look for those things as is there a sensible place to put that here? I guess we can put it next to like tribute cost, I guess. Yeah, I guess whatever. Public game object currency display. Actually, yeah, I forgot. We were already looking at the cost text, right? Mob cost text. So, also, what happened to my naming conventions? So yeah, I am a silly person. Instead of putting both of those things in currency display, we will leave them as they were. We'll get rid of currency display, and instead we'll just start looking at the icon, because that's really what we needed to do in the first place. So public game object currency icon. Save that. So now that we have a way to look at currency icon, this one in particular, yeah, good enough, whatever. Save that. Now that we have a way of looking at that, we can, in the case that there's no tribute and there's no remaining score or product, we can currency icon dot I guess I could call that mob cost icon. Set active false. Which I guess is probably fine, because that's like an unrecoverable state, so for now we can just set it false, and it will stay false forevers. And then so the currency cost, or no, mob cost text dot set active, I guess, set active. We'll do other things with this, so I'm just gonna stop rendering it, I guess. GUI text dot render. No, wait, what am I trying to do? Trying to do that. I forget what that's called. Enabled. Yeah, enabled equals false. So consistency, it is nice sometimes. And then rename this mob cost icon. And that will unset it here because we changed the name. So let's set it again. I mean, I guess I can. Yeah, I might as well change it here as well. Super consistent all across the board. Mob cost icon. Mob cost. No, oops. Mob cost. Okay. Oh, and wait, no. Yeah, it's mob cost text specifically. Yeah, so save that. And, right, so now it will disappear, but the button will still work. So let's change it so that the button doesn't work either. And that, right, so if, so now if tribute IDX, no, if tribute cost greater than or equal to, no, greater than 0, and tribute tribute index, if tribute cost is greater than 0 and tribute index greater than or equal to 0, then we do these things per usual. What are we not enthusiastic about here? Oh, I put the, not curly, I didn't put a curly brace, I put a parenthesis. And then also, so if not button pressed, and and not button pressed equals 2. Actually, for organization's sake, I'm going to put this on the other side. Not button pressed equals 2, and so button pressed equals 2, and tribute cost equals 0. I should probably stop including this bit about attribute index equal -1, but I am a nervous person, so I'm going to leave it in for now. Alright, so now let's get to the end of the game again. Also, attribute time, we're making this public, in part so we can tune it, and also so we can control it for debug purposes. So main camera, attribute time, let's drop this down to 5, and then when we start it, let's, oops, I forgot to disable volcano scene. Then yeah, once we start this, let's put attribute period down to 1, and yeah, so this should happen for this. Wait, why are you 0? I feel like we just buffered against that case. Why did that happen? I do not know. Let's see how it goes. They're all 0 now. Oh, why are they all 0 all the time? Always 0. Maybe I accidentally inverted my logic. Oh yeah, now of course there's a cost. And the cost is not deducted. Brilliant. Brilliant. I clearly put the wrong logic somewhere. Wow, that was like tragically awful. So it was wrong before we even got there, so yeah, what did I shoot? I changed so many things, and then how does tribute cost even ever get to be 0? It should be the the minimum should be 1. Oh. I put minimum here. I meant to say maximum. Which could explain some of it, but it still doesn't explain how it got past this. No, they're both supposed to be maximum. Cripes. I am backwards in my brains today. Yeah, because I never want it to drop below those. No, I never want it to crawl higher than those. Alright, well that was exactly wrong. Delightful. Hopefully that explains everything. Everything magically better now, please. Please, please. Alright, that looks better. Cost of 2. I'm now rounding down, so... Well, I mean, I had a cost of 2. So I'll cost 2, huh? That is technically the truth. Oh, wait, am I... No, okay, good. They don't literally all cost 2. But I guess on a small scale, things tend to round. Alright, look, yeah, minimum of 1. So that seems to be alright. Now it costs 8. Because I can't do this one anymore. I can't sacrifice dudes anymore, so the cost just skyrockets. So maybe times the maximum times 2 is a bit excessive. Maybe it should like just be the maximum, I guess. Because like the maximum is actually fairly infrequent, so in most cases you won't... Oh, it's not deducting anymore. For some reason I stopped it from deducting in this case, which is inconvenient. Okay, alright. So... So, yeah, just the maximum, which was 4, I was saying. It's 4-ish is the maximum. So maybe it shouldn't even be the maximum. Maybe it should... Nah, yeah, I mean, we're trying to cut to the chase here. So it will gradually increase, but I guess we can start out reasonable. No, I guess we do kind of want to just like speed, like just like, yeah, cut to the chase, just get to the punchline. Well, we've sacrificed our entire population, so the tribute period should be relatively low at this point, and this is like supposed to be the worst case scenario. So if the user experience is a little bit awful, that actually is not the worst, because it just kind of reinforces that something awful has transpired. Maybe, or else I'm just being cruel. I don't know. Anyways, that was not the greatest concern. The greatest concern is that I accidentally stopped deducting the cost. Tribute cost is greater than 0, which it was, and tribute index is greater than or equal to 0. Oh. I can't do this here, because tribute index will not always be greater than 0. What am I trying? Why did I put that there in the first place? I mean, I really should just get rid of it and trust that the... Yeah, you know what? I saw that the cost... that the minimum cost of 1 was working, so... Maybe now it's time to cut the safety net. We're doing it live. I guess I can cut it down here too, because I'm feeling reckless. By reckless, I mean not overly cautious. And yeah, maybe if by some weird, unforeseen circumstance, we accidentally get a cost of 0, then maybe it's good that you can't pay that cost. Or good enough, I don't know. Second dude, second dude, second dude, second dude, second dude, second dude, second money, second money, second money. Oh no, oh no, we have no dudes, we have no money. Maybe. So I guess to really drive home the point, I could put like an X icon here or something. For now, this is close enough. So then the only way to get back to the island is to... Oh. Right. Okay, so yeah, that's how that works presently, but I kind of wanted returning to the island to be a game over state.